Call the meeting to order. I'm going to do a roll call at this time. Mayor Pro Tem, you here? Present. Councilman Reinbach, you here? Yes, sir. Councilmember Anderson, are you
Present.
Here? Councilman Barnett, you here? Present. Councilmember Spears, you here? Councilmember Spears? Councilmember Waddell? And the chair is here. Okay, we have two presentations tomorrow evening. C1 is a consent agenda, is approval of the minutes. C2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for temporary, excuse me.
I'm going to talk about that one.
Okay.
C2.
C2 is reresolution authorizing city manager to enter into an agreement for the temporary employment services with the Reserve Network Incorporated of Fairview Park, Ohio, for up to $2,483,124. Yes, sir, Mr. Reinbach.
I don't know who to talk to on this. If somebody will help me here.
Good morning. Dave Mays will come up and.
Okay. Dave, I went through the scoring, and the people that have been doing this for quite a while, I mean, it was like a photo finish. And the company that we're awarding it to is from somewhere, not here. Does local and experience in doing not carry some added weight?
Well, the Reserves Network does have a local office, so they are.
I don't care about that. They have a local office, but they're not from here. And and this is brand new for them on this, and the people that have been doing this have been doing it for a long time, and they're local. They don't have an office somewhere. This is here for them. My question is, does not that fact carry some added weight to it?
I don't believe that the fact that the business was headquartered in Wilmington carried any weight in the scoring. I do think the presence of a local branch certainly weighs in on any of the company's ability to actually carry out the work, and I think that is reflected by the scoring that was
Disappointing
shown here.
not to go with the local people, very, when it's an eyelash. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. C3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to exercise the renewal of an agreement with E-Plus Technology Incorporated, Hadron, Virginia, for Fortinet's network cybersecurity firewall protection services for 3 years at a cost not to exceed $240,000.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
this is the one that was continued from last time, and maybe everybody else, I can get it, understand the numbers. It's still just, we got a bill for 54 and a bill for 20,000, that's 75. Is this some multiple thereof? I mean, it just,
Yeah, this is
the math doesn't add up for me.
So the 1 year agreement, I believe, is 76,000, and we added approximately 5% growth for 3 years, so that's why it's 240,000. It's a 3-year term, so
Okay.
we don't have to come back to you every year.
Okay, because it said, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is this a renewal?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
C4 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase 4 police vehicles from Parks Ford HVLLC in the amount of $214,965.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to state that I am present in the meeting and was waiting in the purgatory technological waiting room.
All right. You are here and present.
Thank you, sir.
C5 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase 11 police vehicles from Capital Chevrolet Incorporated of Raleigh, North Carolina, in the amount of $533,077.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I held it till here, but just on C4 and C5, Chief, are we transitioning? Do we have this many? I guess I just wasn't aware we have this many SUVs and this many pickups. I really don't have an issue with it. I'm just trying to, is that something we've decided we need more of, or is this the same, just a pure replacement?
These are replacement vehicles. In the past couple of years, we have had difficulty in obtaining vehicles. The 4 SUVs will be used by our watch commanders as mini command posts. Basically, we have 8 of those vehicles right now. We don't need 8 of them. We can go with just 4 of these mini command posts. And the pickup trucks is what's available. We can get our hands on them, and we'll use them in different roles throughout the department.
So there's no real shift. These are just, we have that in our fleet now. It's
We
just-
don't have as many pickup trucks,
Right.
but that's what's available to us, and we're going to grab them and make them work in various roles.
Could you give just maybe one example of kind of where you pick up, versus, I guess we use the Charger mostly, right? I mean, is that the,
Yes, the pickup truck will allow us to do more than what we can do with a Dodge Charger. For example, one of the pickup trucks off the top of my head will be given to our community engagement officer. And one of the benefits to that pickup truck is we have trailers, so we can use that particular pickup truck to pull trailers. We have 2 more pickup trucks that will go to the bomb squad. When they're out on bomb deployments, a pickup truck would be very handy to them if they need to put someone in a bomb suit and drive them down range. We can sit them on the back of the pickup truck.
okay, thank you very much.
C6 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase one right-of-way mower from Deere and Company of Raleigh, North Carolina, in the amount of $109,151 from the Community Service 2024 budget, and the budget impact is $109,151. C7 is a resolution ratifying a lease amendment for the 5th and 6th floors of 929 North Front Street. PH1 is an ordinance amending the official zoning maps of the city rezoned property containing 5.82 acres of land located at 6120 Oleander Drive from CBCD Community Business Conditional District to ONI CD Office and Institutional Conditional District for a mixed-use development consisting of 178 dwelling units and 20,700 square feet of office and commercial space. PH2 is an ordinance modifying an existing CSCD Commercial Services Conditional District located at 3715 Carolina Beach Road for an expansion of an existing automobile repair and services establishment and adding a new 9,000 square foot general business services building and a new 6,750 square foot indoor storage facility. Yes, sir.
Who am I talking to here? I had a question about this.
Chambers.
Brian, I'm glad to see this happen. There's that split zoning on that, or that permit has caused some heartburn in years gone by. But when I'm reading it, it says to rezone the site to modify an existing CSCD commercial services for an expansion, and it's going to the same thing. Maybe it's just, I'm not reading it right.
Right, it's a modification. So they have an existing conditional district, and any change or expansion of uses requires them to modify it. So they're basically rezoning it to a new CSCD to allow for the expansion of those uses on the property.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, PH3 is an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city to rezone property containing 0.87 of an acre of land located at 6705 and 6711 Greenville Loop Road from R15 Moderate Density Single Dwelling District to R10 CD Medium Density Single Dwelling Conditional District for a 3-lot single dwelling subdivision. PH4 is an ordinance amending the official zoning maps of the city rezoned property containing approximately 0.567 acres of land located at 2505 South College Road from RB Regional Business and R15 Moderate Density Single Dwelling District to RBCD Regional Business Conditional District for an expansion of an existing law office. And then PH5 is an ordinance directing the housing inspector to vacate, close, and repair or demolish a dwelling at 912 South 4th Street is unfit for human habitation pursuant to Article 5, Chapter 16 of the City Code, and directing the notice be placed thereon prohibiting its use or occupancy. PH6 is an ordinance directing the housing inspector to vacate, close, and repair or demolish a dwelling at 811 Walnut Street is unfit for human habitation pursuant to Article 5, Chapter 16 of the City Code, and directing that a notice be placed thereon prohibiting its use or occupancy. And then we come to ordinances. 01A is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a supplemental agreement with the North Carolina Department of Transportation to accept $292,080 in additional surface transportation block grant direct attributable funds with a required local match of $73,020 for the Hooker Road Multi-Use Path Project. And then O1B is the ordinance making the supplemental appropriations in the amount of $365,100 for the Hooker Road Multi-Use Path Project in the Streets and Sidewalk Fund. O2A is the resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a supplemental agreement with the North Carolina Department of Transportation to accept $339,840 in additional surface transportation block grant direct attributable funds with a required local match of $84,960 for the Hinton Avenue Multi-Use Path Project.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow night, I would like Denise or somebody, because there's a question on the Hinton Road with regard to some large pecan trees. We call them pecan down here. And I've had 2 or 3 different explanations as to why we can't save some of those trees or all of them. 2 of them are dead, but it's considerable. So I still continue to get the calls from, they're angry now. So I would like for that explanation to be verbalized here so everybody can see it and hear it. And I'm going to call them and tell them to be tuning in or either come down here, because they don't it seems to be falling on deaf ears that we can't accommodate those trees. So if somebody could do that tomorrow night, I would appreciate it.
Yes, sir, we'll be ready.
Thank you.
Okay, O2B is the ordinance making the supplemental appropriation in the amount of $424,800 for the Hinton Avenue Multi-Use Path Project in the Streets and Sidewalk Fund. O3A is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a supplemental agreement with the North Carolina Department of Transportation to accept $328,080 in additional surface transportation block grant, direct attributable funds with the required local match of $82,020 for the Wrightsville Avenue and Greenville Avenue intersection improvement project. Then O3B is the ordinance making the supplemental appropriation in the amount of $410,100 for the Wrightsville Avenue, Greenville Avenue intersection improvement project in the Streets and Sidewalk Fund. And then we have resolutions. Resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement to provide fire services beyond the city of Wilmington's territorial jurisdiction.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I have a question with R1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in reading it, I certainly understand and am very supportive of us offering mutual aid and receiving that benefit of mutual aid. My question is, I believe we added one jurisdiction. We added Leland to this. I'm just kind of getting some clarification as to why and what that does to our force readiness. I mean, I certainly understand neighboring communities, but it seems like we have a pretty large river bifurcating Wilmington and Brunswick County. Just trying to figure out what the reasoning was. Not opposed to it. So, Chief.
I'll ask the chief to come forward.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. So the only addition, the automatic aid piece for Leland would simply be for a single unit for commercial structure fires. So the current automatic aid agreement that we have with County Fire essentially is the closest unit regardless of which district. This request for Leland is only for a specific call type and for one unit. And regardless of whether it's mutual aid or automatic aid, the commanding officer or the battalion chief always has the discretion whether or not to send that piece across to any jurisdiction based on operational readiness. So if we're not able to send it, we won't send it.
So in your opinion, it doesn't adversely affect our force readiness for the Wilmington Fire Department?
No, sir, it does not. I put a presentation together. I'm prepared to do it today, tomorrow night, whichever you would prefer. But no, sir, it does not.
And then what, and I wouldn't anticipate it would, but what prompted this addition?
So we have been working over the last several years to do a better job of collaborating with our partners, public safety partners, particularly the fire departments in our surrounding area. We've launched into a joint command training of incident command with all of these departments. Historically, we didn't really have a great relationship with Leland. We just didn't have it for whatever reason. We started working with Chief Hayes over there, and then we get situations on this side, on the downtown side, where we'll have multiple calls going on at one time, or, for example, the Starway Flea Market. It dumped a lot of resources. Well, over the last couple of years, we've reached out to Leland because they are now a paid career organization, and they can help us with some of their apparatus. We've asked them to come by and stand by at headquarters. So just to kind of help make sure that we maintain coverage here, so that we don't always have to pull from County Fire or somewhere else. We can actually pull from just across the river. So it's in both of these situations, whether it's with Wrightsville Beach or with Leland, there's a give and take there. So it's truly a collaboration.
Great. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mason, what rating does the Leland Fire Department carry?
That's a great question, Councilman Rybark. I do not know.
Do they have sufficient pressure and everything, because we're not operating off of tankers?
No, sir. No, sir. We are not. In Leland, in the corporate limits, I'm pretty sure they have a pretty solid water system, but again, I'm not positive on that.
No problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. R2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to exercise the second and final contract extension and increase in the contract amount of $4,800,000 for the annual needs roadway maintenance contract with Highland Paving Company, LLC of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Then R3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase and sell agreement surplus property to the North Carolina State Ports Authority. And then R4, which is the last one, is a resolution authorizing, yes, sir, I'm sorry.
R3 you just did?
Yeah. Yeah, did you want to talk?
Yeah, thank you. There's no mention of a figure in that resolution. Can somebody help me with that? Kind of important.
Aubrey, can you address that question?
Morning, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. Mr. Rivenbark, I'm not sure why the figure isn't included in that resolution. This is a transaction between two public entities, and it was, and the technicalities as to what information should be including in a resolution such as this escapes me at the moment. So I'm not sure as to why the number wasn't included, but I believe all the information needed to enable this transaction to take place is in the resolution, and we did discuss the figure in closed session, if you'll recall. So
People always say location, 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 but you can also throw price, price, price in there too. So,
understand.
how much, does anybody know how?
Councilmember, we'll have that for you tomorrow night. This item is, we worked with the attorney's office on it, and Meredith will be here. So
Okay.
we'll get with her to ensure that we have the answer to that question.
So it was just inadvertently left off?
I wouldn't say inadvertently, we just wanted to include the information that was required per the statutes, given that this is a negotiation between two public entities. So whether or not it can be included, I'm sure it could be included, but we just wanted to do what was required of us for the purposes of this resolution.
Thank you, Aubrey.
You're welcome.
Mayor, I mean, I'll just say though, I mean, this is, the public, our citizens have an eye on us on this. You know, we've gotten into so much property. They want to know when we're selling it, what we're getting for it. I mean, we need, and I'm not, Tuesday's fine, tomorrow's fine, but we need to be full disclosure on these kind of things, because we're getting a lot of questions about all these properties and who we're going to give away, and if it's going to be that drill, I think. So that's what we're faced with. So we need that kind of transparency. Thanks.
Yes, sir, I understand. We'll be prepared for tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And then R4 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Starway Village LLC for $750,000 in gap financing for affordable workforce rental housing. Yeah, okay, we have two questions here. Saints?
I don't know if it's Suzanne or somebody, but I'm curious as what the total amount of government funding is for this project on all different government levels.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council. So the public funding that is going into this project is from the city, is the 3.5 in ARPA funds that you all approved. And then ARPA funds from New Hanover County, 1.85, don't hold me to that. Then the city was an applicant to the North Carolina Office of Recovery and Resiliency for $9 million, which are CDBG disaster recovery funds. And now, because of the interest rate and other things in the proposal that you have, or resolution, the request is for $750 from the city, and I believe they're requesting $500 from New Hanover County, which is on their agenda today, is my understanding.
Well, Suzanne, what was that last one? What was the dollar amount of what Starway got from the North Carolina Recovery Funds?
$9 million.
It was a total of $9 million.
Actually, the city is the recipient of that, and then we'll loan it to the project.
I get it. And so that's the total?
That is the
Of
total.
public funds? Mm-hmm. Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Neil.
Just to clarify that, which pieces of these are just kind of grant type versus loan type loans?
So all of the public funds that I mentioned are loans.
Okay.
And they're loans at very favorable terms, but they will be repaid.
Understood.
In principle.
Thank you.
You should use this one as an example when people are talking about affordable housing, the big hurdle and the amount of money it takes to make it happen. You could use this as a tremendous example, because people that are watching and people that talk about affordable housing think it's a really easy thing to do, and you can see the complexity and how difficult it is to get affordable housing on the ground. So it's a great example to use, and it's one that shows and demonstrates how local governments, state governments, federal governments are all working together to try to make this happen, but it is very difficult to get done.
Yes, sir, you are absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This concludes our agenda. Mary?
Good morning, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem, we have one item to brief you on today. I will ask Aubrey Parsley to come forward and introduce the item.
Good morning again. So this morning we have Ms. Velva Jenkins here, CEO of YWCA. As I know all you know, YWCA is a recipient of the city's Civic Grant Partnership Program. They receive $50,000 a year, and they're currently in the midst of a 3-year grant agreement with the city. So they just wrapped up their first year's performance under that new grant agreement, and here to present the results of how that's been going thus far is Ms. Jenkins.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, thank you for this opportunity to be in front of you this morning to talk about the impact that our program has made in this community. Living the Dream is what we call this program. And just to kind of give you a little bit of other history about the YWCA, we've been in this community for 109 years, serving families, serving women and girls, and making a better opportunity for them, providing a better opportunity for them. So we're grateful for this funding, for the partnership, civic partnership, and we have served many people through the YWCA. And with me today, we have the coordinator of Living the Dream. She would show the impact. She would give you the numbers and tell you how the funding has been impactful in our community. Our coordinator is Sonia Peel. Sonia?
Good morning, and thank you for having us this morning.
Thank you.
What a beautiful day it is in Wilmington always. Good to be here. As you know, The Living the Dream Center for Entrepreneurship services small businesses, coaching people who want to start their own business and provide support for people who may be in business but need additional support. We focus on micro businesses, and that means businesses with a revenue of $50,000 or less and with 9 or less employees. And the wonderful thing about Wilmington is that we have a lot of support for entrepreneurs. But Living the Dream Entrepreneurship Center focuses on single women and with low to moderate income who may be having a side hustle at their home or a home-based business. And if they get some structure, they may be able to have a viable business where they can additionally support their families. So that's what we focus on. And as you see, the YWCA receives $50,000 per year from the city to support these women. Thank you so very much for your support. And these were our objectives that we agreed upon together. Train 75 entrepreneurs over a 3-year period, provide coaching, mentoring, support, increase small businesses between 25 to 30 new entrepreneurs over 3 years, provide mini grants to support businesses, startup, and expansion, establish an advisory council, host a business conference, and facilitate dialogue with specific topics related to achieving this economic growth. Next slide, please. How are we tracking toward these goals? As you can see, these were our milestones. Increase the number of economic security for women and minority entrepreneurs. Train 75 entrepreneurs over 3 years. We are now at 73 entrepreneurs, so we're at a 97% to go. We're working very hard. Provide coaching, mentoring, and support, 20 to 75 entrepreneurs over a 3-year period. We're at 25 as of today, so we're at 100% of that goal. Start businesses or help businesses reorganize, 25 to 30. We are at 5 new businesses in the Wilmington area, so that's a 20% to goal. Develop support and ownership of Living the Dream initiatives in the broader community for targeted groups. Establish an advisory council, including a diverse group of females or minority business owners. We have 6 women on our advisory council. Host entrepreneur and small business conference. We had our first business conference where we had 60 attendees. And facilitate dialogue with specific topics. We did over 19 different topics. Next slide, please. This is our advisory council. I'm sure many of you recognize these names and are very familiar with these names. A very diverse group of women and who are in business and some who are entrepreneurs to give a wide range of support for the program. Next slide, please. In May, we had our very first Living the Dream Women's Small Business Conference. We had a number of workshops, number of speakers, an opportunity to network. We did panel discussions and workshops from everything from designing the dream to implementing the dream to the reality of living the dream. Because oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, we have this high hope of what life's gonna be. But we talked about the reality of what is really going to be like. And as I said before, we had over 60 aspiring entrepreneurs to attend the conference. Next slide, please. Also a part of Living the Dream Center of Entrepreneurship is the Living the Dream cohort session. This is a 7-week session where the students attend every week for 7 weeks. And we go through 7 modules which help them define their business, analyze the market, acquire some financial support, and goal setting, and much more. Our goal here is to give them a firm foundation on which they can launch their business off of. Because so many times, specifically with these micro businesses, they just jump at it. They have a skill, they know how to hairdress, they know how to do nails, but they don't know how to do business. So we give them that strong foundation on which they can stand on. The wonderful thing, at the end of the graduation, they have an opportunity to present their business plan to a panel of judges, and they can be awarded $500 in seed money to start their business. And as of today, we've awarded over $1,000 in seed money. Very exciting for the participants. Next slide, please. So what are they saying in pursuit of the dream? One has said, this class taught me where I went wrong with my previous business. One has said, I'm reorganizing the business to be better positioned for funding. One has successfully started her LLC and is retiring this fall to pursue her business full-time. And one will be hosting her first arts and crafts classes for children October 10th and 11th. So these women are putting the pedal to the metal to trying to make it happen. Next slide, please. So what's next for Living the Dream Entrepreneurship Center for the YWCA? We're going to expand our cohort sessions. We're going to have another women's conference in May. I may be calling on one of you to could come out and help us and speak to us. We want to build additional partnerships because this is the start. We want to make sure these women are supported as they go along their journey of being an entrepreneur. And we're going to continue to mentor these students to make sure they have a strong success and a firm foundation. So next. Next slide, please. So if you have any questions for us, of course, you know my esteemed colleague, the CEO of the YWCA, Ms. Velva Jenkins, and I am Sonia, and I'm the Program Outreach Director. That's our contact. Next slide. And we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of you, these women have the opportunity to truly live their dream.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I've got one. Great presentation. Thank you. My question is, and I know this is for women, but have you thought about getting kids a little younger? I mean, is there any way you could bring teenage girls or like middle school girls or something like that to kind of get them thinking on that?
That is a very good question, Councilman Barnett. We have pursued that. It just didn't happen this year. We didn't get enough students enrolled. We have a curriculum designed for youth, for high school, juniors, and seniors.
Okay.
We just didn't get enough people to enroll in the program. But we have the curriculum already developed and ready to roll. We will try again this year, and hopefully we'll get
I'd like to see that.
enrollment.
Okay, good. And I can help you with that if you want me to.
Excellent.
Any other questions? And again, thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Just as a reminder, Mayor, that following this, there'll be naming committee in this room, and then there'll be appointments committee also in this room after this meeting. Naming committee.
Okay. All right, with that, we stand adjourned.